What's going on, guys? My name is Wade with TechDaily. So obviously, I'm really fortunate to have the chance to try out and review a ton of different stuff for the channel. I'm constantly swapping out phones and comparing earbuds, and I usually have a bunch of speakers and chargers and cables and a whole bunch of other stuff thrown around my office too. But a question I get asked all the time is, what do I use for myself during an average day? What are my go-to everyday carry items? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about the handful of stuff you'd find me with if you ran into me on the street. And since you guys absolutely love all those colorful accessories videos, I figured I may as well make this a color themed video too. Now, right off the bat, let me just say that not all of the items featured in this video are tech items, but I did want to share some other stuff that I find particularly valuable that I genuinely use in my everyday life beyond just my usual gadgets. First up, my smartphone of choice, my daily driver, is the iPhone 11. This should come as no surprise really. The phone is featured pretty prominently on my channel, and while I did have an iPhone 11 Pro Max, I found that for that much higher price, I wasn't really getting a significantly better phone. That's why I decided to stick with the iPhone 11, and I think it's the perfect value. And for a vast majority of other people too, I will recommend the regular iPhone 11 to them over the iPhone 11 Pro and Pro Max. Now, yes, when the Samsung Galaxy S20 launches in a couple of weeks, I'll migrate over to that phone. I'm really excited to try that out, but I've been so engulfed in Apple's ecosystem for so long that it's hard to make that permanent switch on over. The case that's on this phone is the Dream Fibonacci Vegan Leather 2-in-1 Royal Blue. And long name aside, this is not a cheap case by any means, but it's a super high quality product that's made from a really tough and sturdy TPU material that gives it its shape, and it's paired with that stitched leather-like material across the back. I really like the fit and finish here. I think it's subtle enough, but when you really look closely, you can see the detail in the stitching and the texture of the material, which all look great. And even the logo around back isn't too bad in my opinion. Inside, the case is lined with a soft microfiber material, which is great, and it's a slim enough case where you can still hold and use the phone with one hand comfortably. Now, you might have heard me mention a second ago that this is a 2-in-1 case, and the second part to it is actually a detachable foldable wallet. Obviously, wallet phone case combinations aren't for everyone, especially these larger options with a flip cover and everything. Personally, I like just the case itself, and I appreciate the fact that you can actually just ditch the wallet cover completely if you want. It's just attached magnetically, so you can have it if you need it and get rid of it when you don't. And actually, fun fact, since the case and wallet cover are magnetic, that means that the magnet inside the case itself can also be useful in other scenarios too. For example, you can get a little magnetic phone mount for your car like this one that attaches to the air conditioning vent, and it works perfectly when you pair it with a magnetic case. There's no need to stick an extra magnet on the phone or anything like that. It's built into the case and ready to go, which is really cool. But going back to that wallet attachment, it's got the pockets and space for all the essentials, including a wide, deep pocket for cash and a few slots for cards and your ID. And it also packs RFID protection to keep your credit cards safe too. And actually, even with like 3 thick metal cards and a bit of cash, the case and cover and everything is still pretty thin, which is nice. And there's also a magnetic connection on the side there that helps keep everything closed and secure. Again, personally, it's not the setup for me, but I appreciate the option. And it is a pretty easy way to keep all your cards and cash with you in one package. Speaking of credit cards, if you're curious which ones I carry with me and use almost every day, I'll share that too, since it falls under that everyday carry category anyway. The first is the Chase Sapphire Preferred, which honestly isn't the best option in the world. I've just had it for a while now, and I capitalized on a good sign-up bonus, but there's not a whole lot of perks with this one, unfortunately. My number one recommendation and personal favorite is the American Express Platinum card. It's not an inexpensive credit card by any means, but the perks and benefits of this one, at least for me, make it well worth the annual fee. Airport lounge access is a must-have for how often I travel. I get a monthly Uber credit and a whole bunch more great stuff. The last card I carry with me every day is actually my Apple credit card, though it's the one I use the least out of the 3. It's strictly for Apple Store purchases. And fun fact, I've never actually swiped it, scanned it, or even pulled it out really. Yet just sitting in my wallet these past few months, it's somehow gotten scratched and smudged and all marked up, so it's not nearly as pretty as it once was. You might be surprised to find out that as tech savvy as I am, I actually don't wear or even own any smartwatches. I did have an Apple Watch a while ago, but it just wasn't for me. Instead, over the last 2 months, I've mostly been wearing this watch from the folks over at Fiber. It's their Fiber propeller watch with a bronze casing and blue accents. And full disclosure, I'm not a watch guy and I'm not going to pretend to be, but I will say that I think this is a solid, beefy, and high quality product. And it's something I've gotten a bunch of compliments on. The sort of rough and aged bronze casing gives the watch a lot of character, and the blue leather strap and bronze accents I think bring everything together nicely. It's a fairly large watch with quite a bit of thickness to it, but it's still comfortable to wear even during long periods. It's waterproof up to 300 meters, which is crazy. You could literally go scuba diving with it on if you wanted. The hands and clock illuminate in the dark, and the watch has an automatic Miyota machine core. You can see the internals ticking away through the watch face and around the backside. And overall, I think it's a timeless design that also has a bit of character to it. For me personally, I wear the watch both with just regular everyday clothes like a t-shirt and jeans, and it looks just fine. But obviously, when you pair the watch with a suit or even some business casual clothes, it really stands out. The folks at Fiber were kind enough to send this watch out for me to use these past few months, and I couldn't be happier with it. And if you are interested in your own, they're running a Kickstarter campaign that includes a bunch more color and casing options too. The project is already totally funded, which is great, and the campaign still has more than a week left. So jump on it and don't miss out if you're in the market for a new watch. Obviously, as an iPhone user, the best pair of earbuds to pair with the phone are Apple's own AirPods. And I've been using my AirPods Pro multiple times a day, every day since they launched. I take them to the gym in the morning, I use them when I travel, I sometimes even just listen to them when I'm sitting at home. They're comfortable, the noise cancellation is solid, and as a first-gen AirPods user, they've been the perfect upgrade for me. I honestly have no complaints. The only thing I'm really curious about now is just how long these things will last in the long term compared to my old original AirPods. The battery life on those diminished pretty significantly within 2 years, and while it is still too early to tell yet, I'm really hoping things improve with the AirPods Pro. Oh, and that case that's housing the AirPods Pro is just a really inexpensive random one I found on Amazon. It has the same leather-like material that matches everything else I've featured so far, which is cool. It's a two-piece case that's really easy to take on and off the AirPods, which is great, and you still have access to everything you need, like the charging indicator light up front and the lightning port at the bottom underneath. And there's also a good amount of room for the lid to move with a hinge, so no worries there either. And even with the case on, you can still wirelessly charge too. That wireless charging pad, by the way, is from the same folks who made that iPhone case. This is the Dream Beam, and it's the same color and vegan leather finish as what's on the phone. Again, you've got that unique looking logo on the center there, and the charging pad itself is pretty slim overall. It has a USB-C connection around back and this sort of LED ring light around the edge that pulses when you have something charging, which is pretty cool. All in all, it's just a nice little wireless charging pad that matches all the other stuff I've talked about so far. Last but not least, the biggest item I carry with me, at least most days, is my MacBook Pro, but probably not the MacBook Pro that you're thinking of. This is actually a late 2013 Retina MacBook Pro. No touch bar, no crappy keyboard, and all the OG ports and slots I could want. And those are all the reasons why I've been reluctant to upgrade. The ports, for me, surprisingly, are still pretty valuable. The keyboard feels great with that long travel, and I can still easily edit my videos I make for the channel, even in 4K with this laptop. Yes, the new 16-inch MacBook Pro looks really enticing, but for now, I'm still gonna stick with this guy. So there you go. Those are the tech items and non-tech items that I carry with me every single day. And yes, if any of you guys happen to run into me in the real world, you will find me using all the stuff I mentioned in this video. I promise you that. But hopefully you guys did enjoy. I'm super curious to hear what you guys carry with you. So if you have an EDC list of your own, post it down below in the comments. I'd love to check it out. Also, be sure to follow TechDaily on Twitter and subscribe to the TechDaily YouTube channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys later.